While filming this video, I was in panic mode. This was the last weekend before we put our house on the market, and I had spent months decluttering, organizing, and trying to get it perfect. There's just a small, sweet spot of time where you can't do it too early or the house will get messed up again, and you can't wait too late in case you don't get it all finished. So in today's video, we are getting so much deep cleaning done, and the way that it turns out afterwards, you will be amazed. But I can't believe I'm saying this after years of being a maximalist. It feels good to have a little bit less stuff and pretty much starting fresh. Now, as I begin to deep clean my living room, and that is actually marker all over my couch. Somebody didn't put the lid on. But as I deep clean through the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room, as well as get some laundry done, I'm going to take you on my 3-year journey of how we have transformed this home little by little, the struggles that I have had keeping up with each space, whether it is decluttering it, organizing it, or cleaning it, and how I feel like I've finally taken control back over. So if you are feeling overwhelmed with the space, with the mess, and you are about to hit a breaking point, then this video is for you. Throughout this video, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that you're going to answer to get started and start tackling the overwhelm. So let's get started.
I want to be there and baby dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws.
So I'm starting off by taking off all of the cushions on the couch. This couch cushion has been ripped, and if you ever wonder what you get whenever you buy a couch that says down feathers, well, it's all foam, and then the very, very top layer is all the feathers. So that's what you get. But anyway, I'm going to rig this up by just taping it, and then when the couch cushion goes back on, you won't be able to tell. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 3, and to kind of jump right in to what I was talking about earlier, we've lived in this house for 9.5 years, and this week our house goes on the market to sell. We are currently building a new home, so that home is supposed to be ready in June, hopefully sooner. So we have been gambling a bit on when to list our home and when to get it on the market and how all of that's going to play out. So if you're in the US, then you know that the interest rates are a little bit higher. The market around my area has been hit or miss. It has not been a seller's market, meaning that a lot of the houses around my area and even in my neighborhood have been sitting for quite a while. I am talking like at least 3 months. Now, we don't have 3 months, right? So we need to kind of sell our house, but we've just been going back and forth on when the right time is. And if you've ever had a new build, they don't know the exact date either. So it makes it really difficult to time everything right. So we decided to list it a bit early in case, it had to sit on the market for a while. And there were so many fears around not selling the house. And I told y'all this earlier when I actually told y'all that we were building a house, was that I didn't want to say it because I was nervous that something would happen to this house, or, it wouldn't sell, or we would have to figure out where to live for a while in an Airbnb, or we would have to list it under market value just to get rid of it. So many factors that could happen. But this is the weekend that I am anxiously prepping, nervous, and getting everything perfect. I have Chris outside replanting all the flowers and redoing this walkway that we have been saying that we were going to redo for a year probably, and replanting. All of my trees died. If you saw that video where I did all the landscaping, all of my trees died. So we replaced those with different plants, not those trees. I mean, we are just like trying to get everything perfect. We're nervous that they're going to notice every little small dent. We're repainting, like we're going all out. But we ended up listing our house. They came and took pictures. My realtors told me she was going to list it on the weekend. She ended up listing it like 2 days sooner than I thought. We had a showing the first day, and then that buyer ended up, moving forward with it and agreed to lease it back to us. So we have like the perfect scenario, and I can't believe that it all happened so fast the way that it did. So next is just going to be me packing, prepping, and keeping the house in perfect condition. But at the end of this video, I'm going to show you what everything looks like, all nice, neat, clean, including the backyard, all the stuff that he did. I did not get a chance to film it because him and his crew went and did it all, and I just was busy cleaning inside. But needless to say, it's been a lot easier to maintain because half of our stuff is packed away. A lot of our stuff is decluttered. That's what I've been doing for the last several months. And I look back on old videos and cannot believe how big of a difference it was, and how, I don't want to say bad, but how unorganized I was before. It's like when you're in it, it doesn't seem that bad. But then when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, how did I let it get this bad? But over the last 3 to 4 years, I've worked through every space so diligently. But I'm going to share the things I've needed to do and how I've needed to maintain it to not go back to how it was before.
Every night I'm going on the grid, texting back, I want you, hit you up, I'm on the other side, I miss you, take you off, I came here way too strong, cannot keep it low key, got me drugged, your pheromones hit the roof, auto, your taste, it's really a bad reception out there, where you heading, why ain't gravity pulling you in closer to me, I've lost you.
All right, so whenever you're going through a space and you're feeling overwhelmed, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, how did it get this way? Now, why is this important, and why did I have to ask myself this? Now, keep in mind, there's no right or wrong or good or bad answer. Now, I needed to ask myself this so that I could understand what it is that I needed to change, whether those were false beliefs or habits. These are the things that I'm going to need to work on so that I can go through the process and then maintain it. Now, I would say that nobody actually wants to live in an unorganized, messy space. But there are things on how it got that way that we might need to work through. So just to remind you, here is a quick snapshot of what my office looked like. Now, I did not want my office to get that bad. So I'm going through the process of how did it get this way? Well, in the back of my mind, I'm always saying, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. And then it just kept getting worse and worse. I would also say I'm just not a very organized person. So it's harder for me to figure out what I want to do in that space. I just didn't fully know how to organize or do something with it. And I'm also like, I want to do it right. I want to do it the right time, the first way around. And also because I record everything, it's like also, I put a lot of pressure on myself to make it look nice as well. So that caused me to procrastinate, and then before you know it, I'm in over my head, and it never was supposed to be that way. So then you just get left with overwhelm. But going through that process, I could see that I could break some false beliefs. Like the excuse that I just don't know how to organize should not be a reason I didn't do it. That's not true, because I can figure out how to organize. There's tons of free content on YouTube. There's tons of free things that I could actually find someone to help me figure out what to do. I will get to it is something that I needed to stop saying in the back of my head and actually put on my calendar the date that I'm going to start that process. So a lot of these false beliefs and excuses I had to work through within myself so that I could go from room to room. So number one, just to recap, is to ask yourself, how did it get this way? And what false beliefs, reasons, or habits can you start changing now to incorporate in this process? So the next thing is that sometimes if you're living in a lot of chaos and you always tell yourself, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it. Well, where is it? When is it that you hit that breaking point? When was it that you realized you wanted to make the change? So for me personally, I didn't think things were bad because in the back of my mind, I'm always going to get to it until I saw people like organizing their pantry. And I realized that my pantry didn't look that way. So here's just a quick picture of what it looks like before. I really couldn't find anything. Everything was scattered all around. There was no organization process to it at all. There was expired food everywhere. And I hit the breaking point that I needed to do something. When it was my closet, it was when I ran out of hangers and couldn't hardly walk in the space anymore. In my office, it was when it was piled up with so much decorations and extra junk. It became our junk room and I couldn't even walk in the space. And that's when I hit my breaking point. But so when was that for you? And the marker did not come out of my couch cushion. I'm just going to have to flip it over. So when was that time for you? And if it's now, then keep listening. One of the things that I wanted to also add to this is that the first time I hit that breaking point was when it was unbearable. Like I said, I couldn't even walk in my closet. Now my breaking point after organizing it, because it doesn't ever stay organized. Let's just be completely real and honest. The space is not going to stay organized forever. So my breaking point is now very different, right? I'm never going to go back to, well, I hope to never go back to the point where I can barely walk in my closet anymore. And here is just a quick example on the screen. Now my breaking point for each room is different than it was before. I know exactly what I don't want to go back to, so I can be more proactive about it before I let it get to that point.
Hold up just a minute. Been looking for some help just to find myself. Yeah. Been losing my focus like 1,000 times before. Can't take this anymore. 'Cause I've been looking for something to change thoughts into motion. Been waiting way too long. Yeah, waiting just for somebody to love and to surround me and to handle my emotions. I was out waiting for something, and if I close my eyes, it's all been a waste of time. I was out driving every mile, and now if I rewind, it's all been a waste of time.
So you might be saying, well, I could make improvements on, different spaces of each part of my home, but I feel a little overwhelmed on where to start. Question number 3 you can ask yourself is, which space did you hit your breaking point in? Which actual room or space was it? And then you can start there. For me, it was my pantry. We use our pantry every day. I was tired of looking at all of the expired food, and that was the first place I decided to take the leap, go through. I spent a full day. It took me 8 hours to go through my entire pantry, organize it. I did film it, so that probably added some more time to it. And I have never gone back to how it was before. And that was about 4 years ago. So is it absolutely perfectly organized 24/7? No, absolutely not. But it is not the way it was before. So once you have your first space picked out, the space that bothers you the most, then your next question is, how do I get started? So you've picked your space, you've hit your breaking point. What do you do next? What I did was I created a plan. Now, I've gone through lots of different spaces, some spaces that are really bad, some spaces that aren't so bad. They just kind of bother me a little bit. And what I have found was that I declutter and organize differently depending on the space. For example, in my kitchen, I would visualize each drawer. I knew what was in each drawer, but then I would write down what I wanted each drawer to contain. For my closet, it was a very heavy decluttering process, more so than an organizing process. So I knew that I would just start with all of my short sleeve shirts, then I would move on to my long sleeve shirts, and so forth. I created categories of how I was going to do it. For my office, I started by just taking everything out of the space because I didn't know where anything went or where I wanted to put anything. I also, after creating a plan, I broke it up in sections because nothing is worse than taking everything out of a space, working on it for a couple of hours, and then getting tired and burnt out. So definitely writing down your plan. Are you going to categorize things? Are you going to purchase containers to put things in? Are you going to watch videos and have a mentor so that you can have different ideas? Make sure you write down your plan. After you have completed the whole process, the very last question you would ask yourself is, how can I keep it this way? Now, you think this would be something obvious, like, well, just put the stuff back in the container that you organized it in. But it's so much more than that, and this is where I struggled a bit. And this is also where question number 1 came into play. If you remember, question number 1 was, how did it get this way? So when you're trying to figure out how to maintain it or how can you keep it the way that you have now changed it, it's understanding that you're going to have to change things about how it initially got that way. So in a lot of these spaces, my initial mindset was that I'm just not a very organized person. So it's just not going to be a very organized space. So if I'm trying to maintain an organized space that I've worked really hard on, if I am always thinking that I'm just not an organized person, then how is it that I'm going to maintain it if I believe that I'm not organized? If I'm always constantly waiting to perfect it or saying I'm not going to do it until I do it the right way, then I know it's going to go back to that breaking point that I initially had. And lastly, my mindset of I'll get to it someday, I'll get to it sometime has got to change. If I'm going to maintain an organized space, then my mindset of I'll get to it has got to change. It cannot be I'll get to it eventually. It's going to be I'll get to it this weekend, because I'm learning and creating new habits and holding myself accountable for that. Decluttering has played a huge part in the maintenance process as well. And I'll just lastly end this topic by saying that when I initially filmed each and every one of those videos, there was a lot of shame and embarrassment around those spaces. But to be completely honest, cleaning, decluttering, and organizing is not the most fun thing to do. It's not putting food on the table for your kids. It's not paying your bills. It's not fun things to spend time with your family on the weekends. It's not bringing in an income. So for it to take a back seat is not that uncommon. Well, for some of y'all, it might be fun. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't feel guilty now for trying to navigate through a season of my life where I was figuring a lot of things out. I had 3 kids in 5 years. 2020 happened and kind of changed our world a lot. I never worked from home before. I had never been home so much in my life. I was, going through a lot of stuff, as were we all. So sometimes we just have seasons. No need to feel shameful or guilty. And just know when you hit your breaking point and want to make that change.
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Do you know how much I love you, wanna see you smile? Where's that happy girl that I know with a heart on fire? I'll do anything to make it fine, but I can tell that you have something on your mind right now. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. We are all about the good vibes. We are all about the good times. Dance until it feels alright, all night. We're all about the good vibes, all about the good vibes. I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. We are all about the good vibes. We are all about the good times. Dance until it feels alright, all night. We're all about the good vibes, all about the good vibes.
I had decided to shampoo this rug because I work over on the dining room table area and I could smell pet urine on the rug. As you guys know, last week I told you about Piper. At the end there, she was having a lot of accidents. So I decided to shampoo this rug because I could smell, and then I think that shampooing it made it worse. Like, it ended up smelling so bad. I guess it just brought up everything. And I ended up just tossing this rug because of how bad it smelled after I shampooed it. Over in this corner, we have this little cabinet, and that's what I scooted over, and it's pretty dusty over here. But in that little cabinet, I have some of the girls' art stuff, and then this is also where I keep some of my work stuff when I'm not using it. So in the new house, I'm going to be getting a real office, and we do have an office here. It's the bedroom. It's a bedroom we converted into an office, and that was one of the areas that was messy all the time. So when it got too messy, I just moved out into the dining room, and I've realized that even when that space is clean, I like working in the dining room because I'm right next to a big window and it's more open space. And then that room, we put tile floor in, and it also echoes when I talk and stuff. So anyway, I just prefer being in the dining room over the office, but we will get a real office in the new space. Now, the thing about having like a real office is that there's no closets in there. And right now our bedroom turned office has a big closet where I store like art stuff and I don't know, just wrapping paper and kids like birthday bags and all that kind of stuff. So we don't have as much storage in the new house. So I'm deciding whether or not to either just get some cabinets to put in the office for the extra storage, or to get something custom built maybe later on. So if you have either of those, do you like it? What do you prefer? Having like just like more like bookshelves that you just buy and put in, or actually getting like custom built stuff? But this is the pantry door. So we actually had a friend make this barn door, slider door as a chalkboard, so that if you like were writing your grocery list, then you could like write it here. And I don't know what they used, but this was not chalk. And I'm like, we're showing the house tomorrow and all this stuff is like stained on. So I'm going to clean this up. And then at the end of this video, which is in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you every single room, all nice, decluttered, clean, and ready for sale. But I want to say thank y'all so much for watching. I hope that this video was at least a little bit helpful. If it was helpful, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. But here's a quick video of every space in our home because it is the cleanest it's just about ever been.
I've been pushing away everybody I love. I don't know what to do. Need a sign from above. I just want to be somebody who knows how to behave, but I'm not even close. Won't you save me? Won't you save me? I am out here alone, 'cause there's nobody left. I need someone to talk to, get this pain on my chest. All the bad things I've done and the people I've hurt, wanna take that part of me and leave it in the dirt. Won't you save me? Won't you save me? Won't you save me? Oh, save me, save me. Oh, I've been trapped in this darkness for far too long now. Wanna tear down the curtains, let the sun